Hey there, seeker of the unknown. Ever wished for a magic ring to control, well, everything? Dreamt of a divine hotline in a chest, or maybe just the ultimate cosmic Amazon Prime rock that delivers all your wildest desires? From ancient times to 3 a.m. Google rabbit holes, humans have been enchanted by relics said to possess otherworldly powers. So join me as we unpack the tales and trails of history's most mysterious and, dare I say, magical artifacts. First up, the Sintamani stone. No, it's not a new type of gem you missed out during your last jewelry shopping spree. This isn't your average sparkler. Originating from Eastern legends, particularly Buddhist traditions, the Sintamani stone is often dubbed the wish-fulfilling jewel. It's like the ancient version of Amazon Prime, just wish and voila. Only instead of next-day delivery, it's instant cosmic gratification. According to legend, this stone has the power to manifest whatever the heart desires. So, need a ring check on that terrible blind date? Done. Looking for eternal enlightenment? Sure thing. Want a llama that can sing jazz? Okay, that might be a stretch, but you get the idea. Historically speaking, it's not just a glorified lucky charm. The stone is said to be a relic from the Sirius star system, and it's believed to have played a role in some of the most crucial events in our planet's spiritual history. Some even say it assisted the mighty King Solomon. Imagine if he combined it with his ring, which we'll get to later. And if you're wondering why we all aren't running around with a pocket full of Sintamanis, it's because this stone is not so easy to come by. Some say it's a metaphorical symbol of enlightened mind, while others believe it's a physical gemstone, possibly a form of moldavite, a rare green meteoric gem. Think of it as the VIP stone you can't even find on the red carpet. As for its current location, like all good relics, it's a mystery. Maybe it's nested on a Himalayan mountaintop, or tucked away in a monk's robe, or perhaps it's in the backyard of someone who wished for the world's most epic rock collection. Next up, the Ark of the Covenant. The Ark of the Covenant isn't just another pretty box. This golden shimmering chest is said to hold the stone tablets of the 10 Commandments handed to Moses on Mount Sinai. Kind of like storing your software terms and conditions, but way more sacred. It's also reported to contain Aaron's rod and a pot of manna. Essentially, it's the divine Swiss Army box of the ancient Israelis. Now, what made this ark particularly epic? Well, besides its divine content, it was also a direct hotline to the Almighty. Yep, God supposedly communicated with Moses through the 2 cherubim on the lid. Think of it as the original cloud storage, just with more actual clouds and divine interventions. But here's where the plot thickens. The ark wasn't just a decorative piece or a celestial phone booth. It was also a weapon. When carried into battle, it wreaked havoc on enemy. And when the Philistines captured it, they were struck with a series of misfortunes. Moral of the story, don't mess with ancient divine tech. However, like many vintage items, it's gone missing. That's right, the most powerful artifact of the ancient world pulled a Houdini and disappeared. Where did it go? Well, theories are more abundant than conspiracy theories about aliens at Area 51. Some say it's hidden beneath Jerusalem's Temple Mount. Others believe it resides in a closely guarded church in Ethiopia, while a few insist they've seen a replica on an infomercial for 3 easy payments of $19.95. So why the fascination with the Ark? The Ark represents the tangible presence of the divine on earth. It's both a beacon of hope and a formidable tool of power. And let's face it, in the world of legendary relics, a box that doubles up as a divine communicator, a war weapon, and a treasure chest is pretty hard to beat. Next, from an illustrious chest to a coveted chalice, we move on to the Holy Grail. The Holy Grail was basically the ancient world's equivalent to the golden ticket in Willy Wonka's chocolate factory. Except instead of a tour of a delightful chocolate factory, it promised eternal life and was way more challenging to locate than a candy bar at your local store. First, a bit of history lesson. The Holy Grail is famed as the cup Jesus drank from at the Last Supper and was later used by Joseph of Arimathea to catch Christ's blood during the crucifixion. Now, you might ask, why is everyone so obsessed with this particular goblet? Well, it's not just because it may have been Christ's favorite drinking vessel. Legends hint that anyone who drinks from this particular cup can achieve eternal life. Suddenly your favorite mug doesn't seem so special, does it? The Grail's history doesn't end at the crucifixion. This cup has led quite the adventurous life. It's kind of like the Where's Waldo of ancient relics, from being the focal point in Arthurian legends where knights would gallantly and sometimes cluelessly search high and low for it, to possibly being tucked away in a secret vault with the Ark of the Covenant. It's inspired countless quests, novels, and even an Indiana Jones movie. And while Indy faced booby traps, we faced the endless theories and conjectures. Some claim it's hidden away in a secret chamber of the Knights Templar. Some say it's in the mythical land of Glastonbury, while others insist they've seen it at a yard sale for $5. Next up in our lineup of ancient artifacts that sound like they belong in a blockbuster movie title, the Spear of Destiny. It's not just any pointy stick. It's the pointy stick with a history more tangled than your headphones after a gym session. First off, a crash course for the uninitiated. The Spear of Destiny, also known as the Holy Lance or the Spear of Longinus, is said to be the very spear that pierced Jesus' side during his crucifixion. So not something you find at your local medieval reenactment fair. Legend has it that the centurion who wielded the spear, a fella named Longinus, was actually blind in one eye, but after some of Jesus' blood dripped onto him, boom, 20/20 vision restored. That's right, way before LASIK, there was the Spear of Destiny. Now, this isn't just a one-hit wonder kind of relic. The spear is actually like the Swiss Army knife of ancient relics. Throughout history, whoever possessed the spear was said to hold the fate of the world in their hands. No pressure, right? Thanos should actually have been looking for this. From Roman empires to Charlemagne to Hitler, the who's who of history seemed to want a piece of the action. It's like the VIP pass of the ancient world, granting invincibility in battle. That is, until you lose it, because as the legends warn, lose the spear and death shall follow swiftly. Today, several churches and institutions claim to have the real spear, but as with any sought-after collectibles, they're bound to be knockoffs. So is there an original Spear of Destiny out there, or are they all just expert replicas from the Divine Etsy store? The world may never know. Next, from spears and arcs to jewelry. Yep, our next artifact is a little easier on the fingers, but just as heavy on the history. Introducing the Ring of Solomon. And no, it's not just a fabulous accessory to spruce up King Solomon's royal garb, nor is it the ancient version of a mood ring. First things first, who was Solomon? In case you slept through the biblical history lesson, he was the wise and wealthy king of Israel, renowned for his wisdom, wealth, and his passion for building things like the first temple in Jerusalem. But did you know that he apparently had a magic ring? Legend has it that this wasn't any regular golden band from the Majestic Kings collection. The Ring of Solomon gave him the power to command demons. Yeah, you heard that right. This wasn't just an artifact to show off at parties, although I imagine it'd be quite the conversation starter. Oh, this whole thing just lets me control demons. No biggie. But how did Solomon come to possess this magical hotline to the underworld? As the tale goes, there was one particular naughty demon named Asmodeus who was giving Solomon a hard time. So with the help of the Archangel Michael, Solomon got this ring that allowed him to control the pesky demon and put him to work. So next time you're complaining about your job, just remember, at least you're not being bossed around by a king with a magic ring. The ring wasn't just about demon management though. It also bore the powerful Seal of Solomon, a symbol said to protect against evil and other magical threats. This would have really helped the Winchesters. Now let's talk about the current whereabouts of the ring. Yep, you guessed it, MIA, lost to history. Some say it's buried with Solomon, others think it's in the hands of a secret society, and then there's that guy on the internet claiming he found it in a cereal box. Next, taking a detour to the vast sands of Egypt, we're introduced to the Ankh, or the Key of Life. It was basically the original life hack. It looks like a cross with a handle and was basically the emoji of ancient Egypt before emojis were cool. It represented life and fertility, and if you were an Egyptian god, this was the accessory to have. Gods and goddesses were often depicted holding the Ankh by its loop as if it were a Birkin bag for the afterlife. Fancy that. But wait, it gets better. While the rest of the world was struggling with longevity and the secrets of existence, ancient Egyptians were walking around casually flaunting these symbols that essentially meant eternal life. Talk about confidence. And there's many theories about its design. Some say the loop represents the sun rising over the horizon, which is symbolized by the crossbar. Others speculate it's a blend of male and female symbols, showcasing the union of opposites. And for those with a practical mindset, they The ink's design is said to resemble a key, thus reinforcing its symbolism as key to the afterlife. Interestingly, the ink also functioned like a universal remote for the ancients. Need to switch on the Nile's water flow? Point your ink. Now, if you were an ancient Egyptian hoping to have a good time in the afterlife, because who wants an average afterlife, you'd want an ink. Tomb paintings frequently show it being offered to the pharaoh's lips, symbolizing the breath of life and the promise of eternity in the next world. It's basically like giving someone the Wi-Fi password in today's world. In summary, if you wanted to be in with the eternal life crowd in ancient Egypt, you had to get yourself an ink. Forget modern smartphones, this was the ancient gadget everyone wanted. And finally, to all my food lovers out there, I present to you the pièce de résistance of ancient kitchenware, the Cauldron of Dagda. This wasn't just any old pot you find at your grandma's kitchen, nope. This was the all-you-can-eat buffet pot of the Celtic world, and quite possibly the earliest inspiration for the modern-day buffet restaurant. Who owned this culinary marvel, you ask? It belonged to Dagda, a chief god of the Tuatha De Danann in Irish mythology. This guy was not only known for his immense strength and wisdom, but also had an appetite to match. I mean, if I had a bottomless cauldron, I'd probably develop quite the appetite too. Picture this, a cauldron that never ran dry. Hungry warriors would line up, bowls in hand, and no matter how many came forth, the cauldron just kept on giving. And considering Dagda's fondness for feasting, I mean, can you blame the guy? It's no surprise he had this magical item in his repertoire. It was like the ancient version of a never-ending pasta bowl special, but way cooler. But there's more to this pot than just endless food. Legend has it, the cauldron also had the power of resurrection. Dropped your favorite pet rock? No worries, pop it into the cauldron. It's believed that the cauldron could bring warriors back to life. They might walk away wounded, but hey, they're walking, right? Historians and scholars have often pondered its symbolism. The Cauldron of Dagda could represent abundance, regeneration, and even inspiration. But let's be real, for the average Joe or Jane in ancient Ireland, it probably just represented the ultimate dream, an endless supply of grub. Well, fellow travelers, we've journeyed through time, myths, and legends, unearthing tales of magical rings, divine chests, and yes, even cosmic wish-granting gemstones. It's a wild world out there, filled with stories that blur the line between the earthly and the ethereal. Our world is teeming with mysteries waiting to be rediscovered. So keep that curiosity alive, and remember, the next artifact could be just a story or a stone throw away. So until next time, keep exploring, stay magical, and never stop questioning what's possible.